We all know that cardiac diseases are a world pandemic. They're emerging as an epidemic. I mean, the world is dealing with cardiac diseases, and since ECG is the first test, this is going to be a revolutionary product because it is going to help everyone around the world.
Welcome to 20-Minute Leaders. Just sit back, relax, and learn from the leaders of today. It's a journey. Each one is different, unique, inspiring. Let's get started. 20-Minute Leaders is a proud supporter of Make-A-Wish Israel and Tech to Peace, and is in proud collaboration with Secret Chord Ventures, J Ventures, Riverside FM, Fusion VC, Birthright Excel, J Impact, Leap, Google for Startups, and Hippo, and in media partnership with CTech. Welcome to 20-Minute Leaders. Today we're talking to Neha Rastogi, the founder and COO of Agatsa, an entrepreneur with over a decade of experience in creating affordable and technologically advanced healthcare products. She possesses great leadership skills. Along with being the founder of the company, she has also built the prototype of its flagship product, the SanketLife ECG monitor. She has won various prestigious awards: Woman Entrepreneur Award by TiE, Digital Women Award by ShethepeopleTV, BIRAC-TiE Winner Award for Women in Entrepreneurial Research in the field of biotechnology, and Aegis Graham Award. Please meet Neha. Fantastic. Great. Well, Neha, tell me a little bit about yourself. You're working in the medical devices space, in ECG. You're the founder of a medical devices company startup. And so tell me a little bit about your story and about, what excites you and what led you to be in this space.
Sure. So, Michael, I'm an electronics and telecommunication engineer, and I was working in an MNC, was a regular job, when my father-in-law was detected with a cardiac disease. And he was put on medications, and, the doctor suggested that he would have to go for regular checkups every now and then. To ensure that there's no heart attack or there's no risk of, severe heart problem. So, since, you must be knowing in India and even worldwide, parents are living separately and, there's nobody to look after them. And same was the case with us. And we just thought about, having a tool which can monitor cardiac diseases and which anybody can use it at their home, any place. And, you can use it, gather the data about heart and transmit it to the doctor to get, instant advice or instant treatment. So we just researched, and there were no products or no devices or tools available. And we thought that, we being, me and my husband, both of us being from electronics background, we thought, why not create a miniature ECG device? And ECG is something which has to be taken, which is a gold standard, which is the first test which a doctor suggests to get any information about heart. So we didn't start with an intention of starting a medical devices startup per se. We just wanted a tool to help our father, and it just eventually so happened that, once we got a prototype, showed it to the doctors were so enthusiastic about it. They encouraged it a lot. And, they even gave us a lot of valuable feedback, like how to make it more valuable for the users as well as for the doctors. And that's how, after 3 years of R&D and reiterations and, redesigning and everything, we came up with our first product, which is SanketLife, which is a pocket ECG device. And it takes your ECG just by thumbs. So just by touch of, touch of the sensors, you can take your ECG, go and get a report on your smartphone. It can be, shared digitally, or it can be printed. It can be shown to the doctor. An instant, remote treatment can be found. I mean, remote advice can be taken, and instant action can be taken. So this device is actually really helping people in case, where people feel symptoms like chest pain or shortness of breath or, some kind of uneasiness in their heart or body. And they get confused whether it's a heart problem or is it something else. So there, Sanket Life comes very handy. It's a very, it's of the size of a car keychain. So it can be carried anywhere and it's
Wow.
completely wireless. So no wires, no leads, nothing has to be attached to the body. Even with phone, it communicates wirelessly. It's battery operated, so no power is required. So it's completely, hassle free, and anybody can take it out, use it, capture their heart data, create a report and share with the doctor.
Incredible. Tell me a little bit about ECG, and the meaning. You mentioned sort of the personal story, but tell me a little bit more on a global scale, the impact of
Yeah.
such a device, or I should say the accessibility to such a device in the world. Well, what opportunities does that create? What problems does it solve on a scale?
Right. So, as I said, CG is the first test which, anywhere in the world, it's a gold standard. It is done as a first test to detect any problem in the heart. Now, if you've seen ECG, traditional ECG machines, they are like big machines which are kept in the hospitals, and all those wires coming out of the machine, which are attached at different points of the body, and then the data is captured, the electric voltage is captured, and it is shown in a graphical format on the monitor. So what we have done is we have miniaturized the whole setup. So, the big machine is now a carton chain size machine. The wires have been replaced by the sensor. So instead of placing the wires of the body, it actually, you just need to touch the sensors at different parts of the body. And the monitor is replaced by a smartphone. So all the processing and everything has been, is being done the smartphone. And, remotely can reach to doctor anywhere in the world. So, this is the first of its kind device in the world which can capture 12 leads of ECG just by touch. So, completely wireless, leadless, painless, non-invasive device. And anybody can take his ECG in a sitting position, he doesn't have to lie down. No extra infrastructure has to be restored, or no trained personals are needed to get that data or test. So definitely, we all know that cardiac diseases are a world pandemic. They're emerging as an epidemic. I mean, the world is dealing with cardiac diseases. And since ECG is the first test, this is going to be a revolutionary product because it is going to help everyone around the world.
hmm What does it mean? So what are the different things that you have to optimize for as you're making it accessible for people around the world? So I heard you making a lot of emphasis before on the sort of the portability of the product, the ease of use. What did you find, through your understanding of the consumer market and what people need? What needs to happen so that this is, making a high impact on individuals around the world using it?
See, first of all, worldwide, the ECG devices are completely not connected. They give out paper reports, and paper reports, they just get lost, and there's no back data. If a doctor wants to see, then what was your ECG, last month or last year or 10 years back, he has to go through all those big files of reports and everything. So we have digitized everything. So that is the first biggest impact that Sanket Life is going to create, that everything is digital. Secondly, since the ECG process was so cumbersome with all those wires being attached and everything, just touch-based ECG, and that to a medical grade ECG, which the doctors can believe, the doctors can actually gather some information, and they can detect a problem, or they can conclude a disease or something. That is the first time, and it is there in the first time, it's a gate light. So just by touch, the ECG is sorted, and within 5 minutes, not more than that. Right. Third is obviously, the portability factor, because and the connectivity factor, because worldwide, and especially in countries like India where population is huge, not everyone is able to reach the best healthcare facilities, and there are so many countries like this, and in cases of heart attack, time is of essence, and when a person actually feels or experiences any heart attack or any problem in heart, um, he has to reach to a doctor immediately. So instead of running to a doctor, and in case of false alarms, at any of the non-trivial issues, a person can use this device and can send the report to the doctor, and doctor can actually make some conclusion out of it, and he can advise the best. So these are the three most important and the biggest impactful factors that Sankhet Life have brought to the world.
Well, what are some of the challenges that you expect for a company like this as you're growing it? What are the main things that you think are going to be the most, I guess, difficult or interesting that you'll have to overcome?
See, challenges are many. Firstly, health itself is a very challenging domain, because you cannot just play around it. You have to be very accurate. You have to have the data which you're capturing and you are showing to the doctor in class to be very accurate. So that's the reason we took good 3.5 years of just R&D and just making the product accurate, so as to make everyone believe in it. Secondly, since there are a lot of regulatory, implications, and there are a lot of regulatory barriers that you have to cross to make the product available, and to make the product scalable, to make the product reach to the masses. It really requires a lot of time and energy and efforts, and of course, because we are constantly doing our trials, our validations, and certifications and regulations. Now people have started believing in the product, and now we are exporting them outside India also. So yeah, so challenges many, and of course finance and funding, and these challenges are always there with any startup, especially with a product startup which have lot of capital intensive R&D which we have to do. So yeah.
Interesting. And so, from a trust point of view, how do you get the public to trust sort of this? Maybe this is even more of a general question for the medical devices space, but what are some of the ways in which you can garner trust from, the average consumers in, using a product, trusting the information, trusting who stores that information, and the authenticity of it? How do you think through those issues?
Yeah, so Michael, actually, this is a very interesting question, and we always dealt with this when we were building the product, because we wanted this product not as we didn't want to project it as a ECG device. We wanted to project it as a tool to monitor cardiac problems, which anybody can do it. And we always dealt with this question that whether people would trust it or not, how people would trust it. And maybe, to our surprise, when we actually brought the product in market, it was the doctors who trusted it more. And they started purchasing it, using it, and recommending it to their patients. And that is, doctors are the biggest stakeholders. They are the biggest, validators that, yeah, this is a device which needs business. This is not some, run of the mill kind of a product. So that there we got very good, response from the medical fraternity, from healthcare professionals, and they started buying the product for themselves and for their even for, using it in their own clinics or in their own offices to screen the patient quickly, because not everyone can afford those big infrastructure, big machines. And then, obviously, if a doctor trusts it, the patients and the masses start trusting the product. So that's
Right.
how, the trust is being created.
Right. No, no, that makes a lot of sense. And that really does make a lot of sense. Now, if you're looking at sort of your own journey and you started talking a little bit about your personal sort of connection to this, if we're looking back into how this, is relevant for you, tell me a little bit about you as an entrepreneur. Well, what do you care about? What gets you really excited about this journey and about what are you doing here?
Yeah. So, whenever we look behind, whenever we look at our journey, we always think of one thing. We started with a personal problem. We wanted to create a tool for our father. We wanted to save his life. We didn't want him to go through any pain and, sudden problem and he being far. But today, that tool is saving so many lives. And that is what actually creates, excitement in us. And that is what keeps us going. So you talked about challenges. So, every day is a new challenge. Every day is a new problem. But we keep going because we know that this has the power of saving lives. And that is where, the impact, the joy, the actual meaning of this whole idea lies. And, that is what, we believe in.
So what would, for your case, what would be a victory, or what would mark the success of this company? How would you define success?
So there's no particular definition of success. I think, we are getting successful with each passing day because, we are getting to see how people are getting the product, how differently they're using. So, right now in India, even the army personnel are using it in the most, remotest areas, where they are posted. Even the national gas and coal miners are using our product in the mines for, in case there's a heart problem or in
Wow.
case there's a problem in, for the people down there. There are so many remotest areas, underprivileged areas where the product is being used for quick screening and quick monitoring or quick detection of heart. So I think this small things is what defines success for us. We haven't, since we never started the idea of having a startup or creating a unicorn or, getting big and famous. So we never see startup, we never see success like in those terms. So we're just taking small steps, and and I think we're reaching there. The success would mean that, like a thermometer, every household should have this device, and nobody should die because there was a delay in reaching hospital when something bad happened to the heart.
Yeah. Well, I think it's just an awesome, a great example, both of a, personal motivation, a deeper understanding of the market and the different opportunities. And it sounds like you really are supplying people that really are in need of such devices with sort of the innovation and tools to do that. And it sounds like you're putting a lot of emphasis on the portability of it, on the accessibility of it, which sounds like this is, sort of the real bread and butter of how to make meaning here. And you mentioned quite a few times that this is just the start. So I'm looking forward to cheering from the side and continuing to following your great work. And I really appreciate your time and your energy. And thank you very much for the inspiration, Neha. And best of luck.
Great interacting with you, Michael. Thank you.